Battles over mandates and in-person schooling amid the exhausting pandemic, homelessness and rising crime leaving big cities chaotic and reeling. Twin crises hitting Seattle particularly hard in the new year. Let's bring in our man in the Pacific Northwest, KTTH Seattle talk radio host Jason Rantz for tonight's lightning round. Jason, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Shannon.
Okay, I want to start here because we had this tease about Target and the fact that this Target in Seattle says we're having shoplifters every 10 minutes. I think that's what they told you. You went there and took your own video. I think we're going to play a little bit of that so people can see what you found when you got there. So there's a gentleman who appears to be losing his pants and also taking some items, and a security guard who looks to be an off-duty cop. What the heck?
I know, literally within just like about 20 steps into this Target, I witnessed this first instance in which, as you can tell, this guy is taking Gatorade. He's taking some other items, including household cleaner, which I'm assuming was mixer for the Gatorade. He was stopped immediately by this off-duty officer, and I spoke to him afterwards. He basically said, yeah, this is happening pretty much every 10 minutes. And so he was not kidding, because I walked upstairs to the second floor of this Target, and I checked the timestamp of the second video that I took. It was 12 minutes later, in which, yet again, there was someone who was shoplifting. A lot of this is happening because, well, frankly, in Seattle, you don't get in any trouble because of the shoplifting. You're not going to get arrested because we have a lack of police. If you were to get arrested, you would not get charged, at least not at this point. We have a new Seattle City attorney, so hopefully things will start to change. But I was talking to another staffer who was saying, hey, the reason why our shelves are so barren right now is not just a supply chain issue. They're waiting for their shipments, but saying it's being made worse because so many people are going in and stealing. And of course, it's not just the Target. It's a lot of businesses, not even just in Seattle, but across Washington State, which is kind of what we've been seeing across the country in these Democratic-run cities.
You've also reported a lot on the issue of homelessness and encampments around schools, some that have become dangerous. We have some stats here. These are people who've been killed or attacked by homeless people in the last month. These are actually all murders. We have 2 in New York City, and we have 2 in LA. These are cases where we believe these were homeless people that simply committed these crimes and took off. You know, some of them apprehended, but many of these cases continue to go on. What's the situation out there in the Northwest?
I mean, we've seen just in the last few weeks a rash of these crimes. So, for example, we saw a homeless man who tried to rape a woman at knife point while she was on the phone with her dad walking back to her apartment. We had a homeless man who did, in fact, rape another homeless woman at an encampment near this busy freeway on-ramp that has been a problem for a while. We had a homeless man who assaulted a homeless woman, punching and kicking her dog before burning down her tent. We had a case just last week of a homeless man shooting someone else with a crossbow. So the problems are escalating. They're incredibly violent. And we're not hearing anything from city leaders. We've got a new mayor who puts out a press release every now and then, wow. But we don't actually have anyone clearing out these encampments and getting the people who need help, and allowing police to do their jobs to clear out the places that are very clearly dangerous.
Yeah, and a lot of these people do need help far beyond what they are getting right now. Okay, quickly, I want to ask you, too, about this case of a mom who says that a principal forced a COVID test on her child without any parental consent after another student who doesn't get along with her accused her of having COVID. What was the explanation from the school?
Well, nothing. The school is literally saying nothing. So this is happening right now in Maple Valley, Washington at Tahoma High School. It's about 30 minutes south of Seattle. And so this kid, 16 years old, never been in trouble. The mom tells me gets called into the principal's office. An assistant principal says, you've been accused of having COVID. Kid didn't have COVID, but basically pressured her into taking the COVID test. And she complied, not really knowing what to do. But then when the mother found out, the mother got pretty ticked off. It's like, this is a minor. I didn't give you consent to do this. You have no right to do this to my kid. She actually secretly recorded the conversation she had with the assistant principal, and she shared it with me. And I am so proud of this mother, because this is a mom who truly cares not just about her kids, but if you listen to the whole conversation, she gets into, why are we doing this to kids? Why are we forcing them into tests that they don't really need? Let kids be kids. And the principal, the assistant principal, at least to her in this conversation, was apologizing a lot over and over and over again. And I suspect the reason they didn't respond to the 8 requests for comments I put in is because it's probably illegal to just go ahead and test these kids without consent.
Yeah. Well, parents are getting very involved in a lot of things going on at school now. Jason, thank you very much. And we want to bring in some good news before we say goodnight. A special